Hello there, people of the internet. This is a game that you might recognize as Age of Mythology: The Titans. I've been playing this game quite a lot, and I've been loving it. And I've been spectating a few games in our community that I thought I might as well share with you guys, since, you could use seeing what's going on. So, here we go. Game number 1. This is a 3v3 on the map Mediterranean. We have here, I'm just gonna call this Team North and Team South. So Team South here, we have FTR playing as Oranos. We have Blogman playing as Zeus. And then we also have Bass playing as Zeus. While on the northern team, here in the purple color, magenta sort of thing, we have Clone FET, Clone, playing as Oranos. We have Angelo playing as Thor, and we have Hierarchy playing as Poseidon. Now, let me skip through a bit of this. There's not much going on in the first few minutes of the game. Players are just setting up bases. Bass did plunk down his dark. He does seem to be the first one in the game, along with Angelo, yeah. Only 2, almost immediate docks being put down, and looks like Bass did start fishing. He has just 3 fishing ships here, while Angelo is still looking for the fish. Let's go ahead and play fast. You can see pigs being picked up here by FTR. And we have this lore from Hack, which does secure him quite a bit of hunt, which is quite nice for him. This line, though, it's very menacing. This is you might notice this, a lot of the players have quite a few pigs next to their base. So this is definitely a good thing, especially, if they lose control of the waters, they can just resort to fishing, not fishing, no. They can resort to, eating their pigs, cutting and eating their pigs, and that works perfectly well because they have a plethora of pigs. And yes, we do see it's 4:30 by now. We should people should consider advancing. If FTR had a temple down, I'm guessing he would be advancing to the next age, but he didn't. So yeah. Does look like nobody really has a temple down just yet, which is obviously a mistake. Bass does, and I think he's amassing food. Does look like it. Has a lot of wood though. He is the only one with a temple down in 5 minutes, which is really, really awkward. He did stop making villagers, which is not something you want necessarily. Yes, prostagma. I mean, normally you would have the food income set up so that you can sustain making villagers while getting enough food to advance proper timing. Getting 6 and 3 at this point of the game is clearly a questionable decision, since for now he doesn't really need that much wood. Of course, once he finishes advancing, he's gonna pop out a bunch of centaurs and start raiding with them. But hey, there's time for that as well. And also the 3 villagers on gold, not necessarily. Generally I see people put 2 there, and that's also not immediately. You want those after you secure your food and partially wood as well. But yeah, we do see FTR advancing, closely followed by Bass, and on the blue team we have no advancement from Angelo, no advancement from Hierarchy, and no advancement from Clone. Yes, the balance in this game is quite questionable, I will say that much, I'm sorry. But this is what the people decided to play, so this is what ended up being played. Yes, quite. We do see Bass sending out a scout. What is his vision though? He doesn't, he has a decent idea of what the map looks like. Quite surprised this Katashkopos didn't die yet, since he did crosses around pretty much all their bases. We do see Clone here making a very questionable decision, just grabbing a Tanzer in the arcade cage. I really don't get that, because it delayed his advancement and it's not like it's gonna help you at all. So yeah, I don't know what was up with that. But we do see Bass here putting pressure on Clone because he does have triremes and Clone does not have biremes. I think Angelo is the first one. No, actually, I don't know. It's either Angelo or Hierarchy that it gets the first. Yeah, it is Hierarchy. It is the first to the classical age. I'm actually gonna switch to like the observer perspective so I can properly see everything. So yeah. Again, Bass kicking Clone out of the water. Very well. Like, a very good thing for him. He's gonna take down the dock, I'm guessing, after he kills more fishing ships. And at this point, Clone is like really lagging behind. We do see he has a few villages on gold, a few idle villages here. I actually am curious to see. Oh wow, that's a huge stockpile of resources, but he does not have a temple. You can clearly see Clone is playing like a derp. And at this point, you see this one centaur in Clone's base. Now, also, I questioned this here. He decided to focus that citizen instead of killing the one building the temple. And Clone decides to ring the bell on his town center. Again, really putting him well behind. And not generally something you want to have happening. Yeah, also those pigs are not getting home, which is a bad thing. He doesn't have any pigs, really. He only has a few pigs, and he's forced off the water, which doesn't help him either. Yeah. This is a point I actually stress quite a lot. Especially on maps, like on low hunt maps, where you kind of do partially depend on herdables until you can get a farming economy going. You should always get your pigs home. Cause like, no matter what, on low hunt maps, you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna have to rely on herdables for getting your food income. Unless you wanna do some really bad farming with only plow or something like that. In the classical age, which is not ideal. So yeah. You always want to, first off, have some decent scaling, so you get pigs, obviously. And then you always want to bring them back home to a safe location, which is generally next to the town center. So that you don't have to worry about them getting picked up by your opponent. But yeah, we finally see Clone doing a 10-minute classical age. With no economy whatsoever, besides those 3 fishing ships right here, which don't even have a dock. So yeah, no economy, basically. Although he does have a lot of resources piled up, so I don't know. If he was any good, he would have like gotten classical age 5 minutes ago, and he would stop putting pressure. But instead, he's doing this, and it's not working very well. Has 5, 8, 9 villages just standing, not doing anything, which is obviously very bad. You don't want to do that. Just don't do that. It's actually, yeah, now finally he takes them back to work. But I don't know. Oh well. So yeah, we do see Angelo here getting a couple longhouses up. He is like sort of carrying the team, to be honest. Haki here in the meanwhile is feeling those thermal raids. And he is making hoplites, which is generally not what you want. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point I actually told him, even though he did make another military academy, I told him to make a stable, and he did, if I recall correctly, right about this point. Yeah, he should place down a stable right about here. But yeah, other than that, you can see here, FTR does go for very early farming with only plow. Again, in the classical age, it's not ideal. You want to get those pigs cut up and feed on those, and you want to get your pigs home and all that. There you go, there's the stable from Haki. Do see, like, a minor naval engagement here. I'm pretty sure, like, this is just Bass getting, like... Oh yeah, I forgot, the ceasefire's on, so Bass is just doing a little scouting, and he notices that this is, like, more than he can handle, so he gets his allies to build a fleet. And so they do, I believe, at least... Maybe not just now, but soon enough you'll see them. Oh, actually, never mind, I'm on the wrong perspective. Yeah, there you go, we see his allies building a fleet and whatnot. Not FDR just yet. And the harassment does continue here. FDR doing a very nice shockwave, manages to pick off quite a few of those hoplites, but I'm pretty sure at this point Hayaki does... Yeah, he does start making Hippicons, so this battle is kind of gonna tilt in Hayaki's favor slowly but surely. Meanwhile, Angelo's just sitting here. If I were him, I would, like, I'm pretty sure Clone also told him that he should have probably been more aggressive with those ships and just gone and taken naval supremacy and shut down Bass's fishing, which does actually supply pretty much all of his food at the moment. So yeah, like, yeah, pretty bad that he didn't do that. Pretty sure this is the point where Bass is like, okay, rally the ships together, we need to kill Angelo's fleet. And yeah, Blogman has a tiny navy, but fair enough one. And FTR is still not making anything. He does lose quite a lot of units here, as I pointed earlier. Hayaki manages to get back on his feet. And yeah, that's the end of that aggression really. We do see this naval battle right here. Pretty sure this is gonna go in Angelo's favor, because longbows do have one extra point of pierce damage than triremes, and the same amount of HP. It's actually quite curious, because they both have the same HP and the same class, but for some reason longbows just have one extra point of damage. I guess Norse ships are superior. And Bass does decide to save these 5 ships here by casting the ceasefire. He also, I'm pretty sure at this point, yeah, he's getting a town center, so they are kind of booming, although Angelo does already have 2 town centers, so he's probably booming harder than they are. But yeah. We do see Clone actually, I think, yeah, he's slowly getting back on his feet. These centaurs are still here though, making sure that he can't push into this settlement. Like, under any circumstances I probably would have gone for this one right here. But hey, it's Clone, so don't question it. Yeah. Meanwhile though, like, and I'm pretty sure Angelo and his allies are sort of stalling on the navy. And while Bass and Blogman are still building, and FTR actually started his own little fleet here. So yeah. And their advantage is not going to last for very long. Meanwhile, we do see FTR trying to make a push. He does have these Cairo Ballistae to counter Hayaki's hoplites, but from what he told me, they were quite inefficient. Yeah, sad for him. I don't know, like, the thing is, Atlantean army composition is sort of limited. Like, what I would like for them is to, instead of having 2 counter cavs, make them, like, 2 counter cav infantry, make them have 1 infantry that counters cav, and 1 counter infantry, just like Thromaxman or Hispasis or whatever. That'll leave room for, like, you know, more rock, paper, scissors to play in. But yes, we do see how FTR making a push here. Also worth noting, this game in general, I believe, besides the Centaurs, has a real lack of myth units being used, which I question quite a lot. I mean, especially since, like, Bass doesn't have its heroes out, and pretty much no one actually. I don't think no one really has any heroes, except for the guys that use Valor, which are yeah, FTR and Clone, I believe. Yeah, the 2 Oranos players. Yeah, other than that, there's no heroes, so really, myth units could have been very successful. Meanwhile, Angelo does mass up a good fleet, but Bass is also making a fleet, and Blogman has a sizable fleet as well, so does FTR, kind of. We do see him being pushed back here. He did get quite slaughtered apparently, and Haki's making a huge Hippicon army. Like really huge actually, never mind. Kairos do get countered by cavalry, so take note of that. Let's play fast for a little bit. I'm pretty sure this is where the game gets kind of passive, like, yeah, people are just taking town centers and advancing in age, and they're trying to push on their advantage, and so on and so forth. And we do see, like, I'm pretty sure this is where the point where, like, everyone gets, like, tries to get a big army, but doesn't actually do anything with it, just gets it for the show. Like, this army, for example, is not doing anything. This force is not doing anything. It could be raiding, like, right here would be a good place. Kill off FTR's farming. And FTR is also not doing anything with his army, which I guess he can't really because he doesn't quite have a counter to the Hippicons. But he is making military barracks, and I'm guessing he's gonna make, I don't remember, either Murmillos or Catapultes. But we do see this battle here. I believe this is the one that goes in the South team's favor. And we do see a shockwave here, however, I don't think it's gonna be that efficient. Because, yeah, with FTR coming in there, it's definitely gonna be a victory for the South team. Quite a shame. Of course, Clone being, like, kicked out from the water early on did not help them at all. We do see a narrate here, which makes some really weird noise. I won't lie. Yeah, I think this narrate is gonna die. Yeah, she did die and make that weird scream. I really kind of hate that myth unit. It's not any useful, it just makes weird noise. Again, Clone making an army here and just keeping it in the base, because why not? Bass on the other hand making some hoplites. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is a point of engagement right here. Clone does not have grabbed these Murmillos in the base, which is again a silly thing. We do see heroic gauge from Blogman with 2 town centers. He is sort of semi-booming, although of course being Blogman he is kind of slow about it. But it's acceptable in this particular matchup, I suppose. However, I would really like Bass to be the boomy man of this game. I think it would help their team a lot. But yeah, now that naval dominance has been completely secured, bar these little guys that are gonna get dealt with shortly by Blogman's forces, pretty sure, like, yeah, this is where the South team gets a significant economic advantage. You can also see they have 6 town centers in total versus the North team's 4. And yes, do see this minor little push here. Mainly because, like, Bass does not really have a strong Hippicon army. Although he is probably gonna start working on it, I think, right about now. Don't remember. But yeah, he will eventually get a Hippicon army up. Or, a raiding party, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so yeah, as I said before, this right here has been dealt with. I would have liked seeing some more naval combat diversity, since people did get to the heroic age, and at the heroic age you should really get more ships than just fucking triremes and whatnot. Yeah. But that's about it for naval. FDR is massing his troops right here. He did add up some Murmillos and archers actually in this mix, which is something I can't really disagree with. Like, I don't know, from what he told me, archers are actually quite bad at dealing with infantry than Kairos. So yeah, if it works, then don't fix it, I suppose. Thing is, with Kairos, you can also use them against ships, which is why they would be nice on this map particularly, but it wasn't really the case in this, I suppose, since FDR did not use them for that particular purpose. We do see this little move here, Clone trying to reach for those fishing ships. He does actually manage to hit one or two, but it stops about there. Actually, FTR is not FTR, sorry, Blogman, trying to push him away with his trireme force. Here's Bass's army amassing. Also, Blogman has 4 centaurs here, just randomly. This battle, however, Haki does cast the curse there. Pretty sure it could have been more effective. He only gets like 4 units or so. But yeah, also Podromos, not necessarily the best unit to go for. Which is also why FTI wins this engagement, because I'm pretty sure he has the superior army comp. You can see he actually managed to chaos his Nemean lion, which is a big deal for Hayaki. It does like take this heavy Momillo to bait the Nemean lion into Hayaki's base, which as Hayaki I would have probably killed that guy earlier to avoid having to fight the Nemean lion, but hey, it's not that big a deal, I suppose. Still do see Ducks being taken down. I have not much else is really going on. Yeah, Clone's still derping around with his little Therma force. Bass does grab his 3rd town center now. Blogman is already on his 3rd, and I'm pretty sure this is right about the point, yeah, where he gets to face this. And yeah, this game is like slowly coming to a close. Actually gonna play fast for a bit because this is another hiatus, so to speak. Pretty sure. Yeah, there you go. There's plenty. And Haki's amassing a force here. He's still going for hoplites even though he knows that FDR has archers. Like, if I were him, I would of course start by adding some units in the mix. Like, I don't really remember. I think he went. Yeah, he did go for Hermes. So yeah, definitely some centaurs needed there. Other than that, yeah, here, I guess he could use some heroes, even though FTR doesn't have any myth units, just in case. Plus, the Greek heroes are strong even against regular units, so why not? He does get Atlanta though, so not too shabby. Although he is gonna need never mind. He's gonna need heroes if Blogman starts Colossi spamming, and I think that's what he does actually. He did also get the ship of fingernails right here. You could see it. Yeah, it gives food to your city, which is probably one of the better relics, if not the best relic out there. Clone and Hayaki are still both on 1 town center, which is not something I fully agree with. Also, not fortifying. Actually, I don't think. See, who did fortify the town center? Clone started now. Not Bass, not Blogman, and FDR did. Okay, so yeah, not a lot. Naval, not naval, just combat. Yeah. I think this is where Clone's Thermoforce gets slaughtered. Does have like 1 capability and 3 Marmillo, but it's not gonna be enough. Bass does use bronze plating here. However, under the palace fire, I'm not completely sure. Yeah, I think actually Clone does win this engagement because of the palace. So yeah, not necessarily the best decision for Bass here. I would have definitely waited until I got some siege up, like some Heliopoli, and then engaged. Or maybe just waited for Blogman's Colossi, that works as well. Do see him build 2 temples here and getting some people to worship Almighty Zeus in order to be able to spam them Colossi. Meanwhile, the battle over here. I think this is like the decisive battle for this front. Yeah, it's quite confusing at this point. I'm not entirely sure who is winning. But yeah, actually, never mind. Like, Haki is losing a lot of units. Yeah, it does look like FDR is gonna take the victory here. Indeed. Yeah, because Hack is just spamming hoplites, which are like really pointless in this situation where FTR doesn't have any cavalry whatsoever. Meanwhile, we do see flaming weapons being cast here to ensure victory in this battle here, which is questionable, honestly. Like, because I'm pretty sure Clone would have won that regardless, and like the rest of the minute or so the flaming weapons last, we just see Angelo running around not being able to catch anyone. So yeah, does put down a hail fort there, which is interesting. Meanwhile here we do see Angelo's 2 battle balls trying to save the day, but pretty sure FTR's focus fire is gonna ensure him the victory, along with I think a few heroes. Is he gonna go for heroes? That's a good question. We do see this guy going berserk, which is actually a very good spot to go berserk in. But yeah, he does get overwhelmed. Even without heroes, these guys have really no chance against so many units. Haki's trying to save himself, making peltas, making hoplites. However, to no real avail. What else? What else? Not much else, really. Quite surprisingly, Blogman is leading the game points-wise. Even though Angelo does have 4 town centers here and is pretty much carrying the North team, he is lagging behind in points. I think right about this point is when Bass decides to advance. Or close to this point, sort of. But yeah, at this point, like, Haki's dying. Soon enough he'll tab out, if I recall correctly. And the game doesn't really last much longer than this. This is like the point at which the South team gets an unrecuperable advantage. Or unrecuperable for the North team, I suppose. Do see Clone trying to pick up this town center, however failing. Blogman sending some siege ships in there, however they do get picked off slowly but surely. Clone does send some destroyers in along with Angelo's group of units here. However, Bass is now putting down some fortresses and oh, this is actually, I like this maneuver a lot. Bass does let them engage on the fortress so that he could fight them from behind, make sure they don't actually get to retreat. I like that a lot, actually. Doesn't go straight for them, he just he decides to encircle them instead. Get in a better position that way. Do see Clone kind of wasting his valor there. I guess can pick off that Hydra, however, is it really worth it? Because he's gonna lose those destroyers no matter what. The Hydra even gets chaos, so whatever. But yeah. He does fail to pick up a town center, mainly I'm guessing due to the ships on the shores. And yeah, meanwhile, FTR is wrecking Haki's base. I think this is where Haki tabs out. Any second now. Yeah, meanwhile this front is being pushed as well. Pretty sure Angelo's gonna lose this. He is making Jarls. Again, not really sure why. I mean, he's not really fighting any myth units. So yeah, this is where Haki tabs out. And from there it's all downhill. I could just skip through this or play fast. Yeah, you do see this battle right here not going too well for Angelo. The Trouble Eye used to take down that hill fort. I actually don't really like this unit. I think and I'm right when I say that Heliopoli are the better alternative for siege units. But I guess the range is nice. But they're net inferior to the Egyptian catapults, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you pause real quick, I can actually show you. Let's see, say Isis, and where is it? Catapult. You see, this guy has 50 crush damage, which is insane, especially when you compare it to these Petroboli, which only have 11. Like, they're no match for catapults. We do see the plenty being put down by Bass as he advances to the hero cage as well, and yeah, he's he starts spamming out there you go, Myrmidons very nicely, very nice units, especially since he's not fighting any Greek whatsoever now the hierarchy's out. So yeah, at this point he's just regrouping, pushing Angelo's little encampment here back. And meanwhile, Angelo's sort of trying to find a fight on what used to be Hierarchy's land, but really not succeeding that much. FTR claiming this town center, now he's really strong. He did get Secrets of the Titans, I'm guessing just for the lols. I don't think he actually even put down the Titan excavation site, if I can call it that. And meanwhile, we do see Bass here pushing forwards. Clone's massing destroyers because why the fuck not? Yeah, this engagement here does not go too well for the Jarls for obvious reasons. And meanwhile, the destroyers are also joining the fight. Poor decision, obviously. Don't think I need to tell you why. Yeah, Bass is full popped, and Clone just spammed these palaces, however, with the Petroboli shooting at them, really, they're not gonna do anything useful. This one's kind of bugged though, which is silly, but hey, it gets back into place, so whatever. You see one guy trying to repair that, but like, whatever, it's still gonna fall, so it doesn't matter. This Colossus though is fucking ridiculous, man. Seriously, Colossi need nerfed really badly. Like, they have a I'm pretty sure one of the best attack animations of any siege unit in the game. Like, look at them go. They give like one attack every 1.5 seconds or so. Which is ridiculously good, and they can regenerate by eating a tree or whatever. And yeah, Class I ugly, man. Just so strong units. At this point, Clone is just losing badly. And Angelo here, just decides to go for Baldo and get all his villages together. At this point I was like, oh, don't kill Angelo, wait until he gets his Ragnarok just for the lols. And so people do actually wait on Angelo to get his Ragnarok. We do see Blogman here just having a cruise with these myth units. And just, yeah, going straight for that town center. Which is something that, like, at this point I was freaking out. Don't kill it yet, that would finish researching Baldo and shit. Does actually take one shot at it and then resigns. Goes for, I think, the sentry tower or whatever. Yeah, let's fast forward through this. There's nothing that really happens. I mean, like, FDR is killing Clone here. Not any real surprise. Bass is also pushing from this side. So there's that. At this point, it's just waiting for Angelo's last resort, which is Baldo here. Yeah, Balder, I suppose. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But yeah, Clone kind of loses there. And here it is, the Ragnarok. It's just, like, it is beautiful and all. There are quite a lot of heroes, but they're not really very effective, in all honesty. We do see one Colossus dropping and one Hydra, but then FTR decides to vortex his army, and that's where it all ends. It's an epic battle between the heroes of Ragnarok and the hero archers. And that's where it ends. So, yeah, instead on this game, it was good, I suppose. It was entertaining to watch and all. I always like grand games like this with 6 people. We do see Blogman also plunking down the Titan gauges for the lols. Same with FTI. He does get one guy to work on it actually. Also wonder from Blogman because what the fuck is he gonna do with his villagers anyway? So yeah, there's the end of that. Thank you all for watching this and, you know, for being supportive towards me and all that, because I know you are and I love you all for doing it. So yeah, I suppose expect more of these videos to come. in the near future. Even though they're not super high level Age of Mythology, I like doing them, and I think they're quite entertaining and all that. So yeah, on that note, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.